2024, the year that makes picking a Brompton even more challenging. Brompton are now offering 12 different bikes ranging from £900 to £4,700. This makes it challenging to select the right Brompton for you. In this episode, we're going to break down each Brompton model to form an opinion on who each Brompton is best suited for. This will also conclude the best bang for buck and my recommendation to a new Brompton user. Now kick back, relax, grab a drink and cue the intro.
He's the Brompton Guy!
First, let's start this journey with the entry line to become a Bromptoneer, the Brompton A Line. The A Line is a free-speed bike that costs £950. In my opinion, this bike feels like a Brompton hand-me-down. It features dated technology, comes with very little option to help you customise or even fit the bike correctly. To date, I've never seen one in the flesh, but I'm sure they exist somewhere. Now let's dive into the specs. It comes in one colour, that being white, finished with the classic all-silver hardware, supplied with only the old-style high bar. It's got push-on rubber grips, a 44-tooth chainring, it's still the all-steel construction, and strangely enough, without the folding pedals. It's equipped with the very capable and easy to maintain 3-speed internally geared hub, which has proved over time to be reliable and loved by the Brompton community. It also features the older styled brakes, shifters, saddle, and doesn't come with mudguards fitted as standard. From this spec, we can draw this fair conclusion. This bike isn't designed for a commuter due to the lack of mudguards. It feels like Brompton are just using leftover stock to even make the thing. Not necessarily a bad thing, but could almost be called the pre-2016 Brompton instead of the A-Line. It does have a very nice and easy gear ratio thanks to that 44-tooth chainring fitted as standard, making it great for someone new to Brompton or for someone who just wants the occasional out and cycling in the dry, going into town, or simply just as a city bike to get around good weather. It isn't flashy and doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but it is designed to do one job well, and that job is to get more people on bikes. In my opinion, this bike is underrated and I honestly like it. However, I'm still not convinced I would ever buy it myself. But that does bring me on to the bike that I would consider myself, and that is the Brompton C Line. The staple Brompton bike that has been refined and enjoyed by thousands over the years. The C Line starts at £1,295 for the 2-speed variation and £1,495 for the 6-speed variation. In 2024, this is what you can expect to find on a C Line. Comes in two variations, the two variations being a 2-speed and a 6-speed. Brompton saddle fitted with the Pentalock clip as standard, the all-steel frame construction, folding pedals, integrated bell, all black hardware, mudguards fitted as standard, 54-tooth chainring, lock-on bar grips, multiple colour options and a selection of handlebar finishes from low, medium to high. And finally, it's fitted with a 13 and 16 tooth sprocket which is fitted to the rear wheel. Fun fact, the 6-speed comes with a complimentary bike pump while the 2-speed doesn't. Sounds like quite the upgrade from the A-Line, right? Well, yes, but because it comes with options to allow you to fit the bike correctly to its user. The C Line is going to be most people's first introduction to Brompton and was indeed mine. The bike comes with multiple options which allows it to feel unique to you, and I really like that. However, that does also mean that in the second-hand market, it's a complete lottery. You will either win or lose on what you really want as an end user. While the bike has never had a major facelift, Brompton have really refined the model from its early entry in 2004. You're getting a very polished, reliable bike that does look way better in the all black hardware compared to the old silver finish. It's just designed well and is a very, very sleek bike. Currently stocked in the 2 and 6 speed variation, which we can expect to change to the 4 and 12 speed over the coming years once the stock dries up. The 2 speed comes with only 2 sprockets at the back as your gears, which is pretty hardcore, and the gearing system would pretty much only be suited for flat city riding. But due to that simple drivetrain, will probably require lower maintenance over the years. However, if you want the extra gearing range, you can spend an extra £200 and that will give you a 3-speed internally geared hub fitted to the rear wheel, which will improve the gearing ratio and it will give you the 6-speed Brompton. The C Line is a great commuter bike with mudguards fitted as standard, making the bike an all-round workhorse. It feels really hard to critique because when I had my 2023 C Line Brompton from the Brompton Bike Hire, it was a phenomenal bike, but it fell short in one major area. You've guessed it, the weight. Once you add your commuter bag of essentials, it certainly feels like you're riding a little weighted tank that you can only carry for about 30 seconds in one hand without switching to the other one for a rest. And yes, you could add the rack, but the rack adds more weight, but with the benefit of you can wheel it better when you get it to its destination. With all that said, does Brompton have a solution? They do. The Brompton P Line. Brompton's performance line or pricey line, both very fitting for this bike. Brompton aims this bike at cyclists, people who are planning to use their Brompton excessively and take it on far out and wacky places. Someone who values a weight saving but understands that in the bike world, every gram saved is going to cost you a lot of money. The P Line is currently stocked in a 4-speed variation priced at £2,270 and the new 12-speed variation priced at £2,580. Wow, that's expensive. As we all know by now, the 12-speed P Line is the newest Brompton entry in 2024. With all that said, let's dive into the 2024 Brompton P Line. The P Line comes with a titanium fork and triangle, but still uses the steel frame like the A and C Line. It comes with a super light Brompton saddle, which I very much rate, a 4-speed derailleur and a 3-speed internally geared hub, which comes with the 12-speed variation only. It comes with Brompton's super light wheel set, advanced roller wheels, improved suspension block, super light grips, a super light chain. It also comes with redesigned mudguards, quick release pedals, new as of 2024. It comes standard with a 50-tooth chainring and the rear sprocket sizes being an 11, 13, 15 and 18-tooth sprocket to the rear. You know what? When I say and list all of that, I actually don't feel as cheated with the cost of the P Line. Yes, it costs more than the C Line, but as a proud P Line owner, I truly rate this bike and think Brompton are consistently making an effort to improve the thing, which, with this effort, does help warrant the price difference. So who buys the Brompton P Line? Well, people who can warrant the price costs, people who enjoy cycling, people planning to keep and maintain the bike for years, people who accept it's a bike that's going to require more maintenance than the C Line, and someone who just wants excellence, but not at the cost of the Brompton T Line. I still look at the cost of the Brompton P Line and it does make me feel sick when I compare it to the price of my fancy BMC carbon bike. But honestly, the dinky little folding Brompton is used way more than my fancy dream machine. That being said, my BMC would blow the bike out the water tenfold when it comes to performance, but it doesn't fold. Finally, the cream of the crop, the bike that I get jealous about in the comments section, and that is the Brompton T Line. Coming in 3 different variations, the 1-speed that costs £4,250, the 4-speed pricing in at £4,520, and finally the most expensive Brompton on the market, the Brompton 12-speed T Line, costing an eye-watering £4,745. Whoo! These are Brompton's super light, fast speed machines. They have an excellent response and supplied in one colour, that being blasted titanium. As the colour suggests, it's built with titanium to reduce weight, and surprisingly comes with the largest selection of gearing options. The bike is made for, in my opinion, good earning Londoners who can maybe warrant the cost, because the Brompton excels in London and its flat nature makes it the perfect solution. With the bike being lightweight, it also gives you the chance to complete some of the toughest cycling challenges in the world, which is the reason why I love it. It's also a bike that's loved or hated by the Brompton community, and I personally feel over time they can tweak the design and hopefully one day get rid of those hinge holds that we all don't like. But it's fair to remember that this bike is built completely differently to other Bromptons, and even in a different warehouse, and built more like a traditional bike. I could honestly talk hours about my dream Brompton, but let's get in with the facts. In 2024, the T Line is equipped with a titanium mainframe, ultralight carbon saddle, carbon forks, it's got a 56 tooth carbon crank. It also has the handlebar options of low and medium only, an FSA bottom bracket, tubolitos fitted as standard, and then shares very similar specs to the P Line. That doesn't seem like a major upgrade, but all these different parts cost a lot more to manufacture. And with my previous statement, each gram saved from a bike is going to hit your wallet harder than any inflation. It's a bike that will make a statement, go extinct, while also being manageable to carry rather than roll. However, other than that, and until I at least own one, I can't really comment if it's worth it. I truly believe it's a bike that only makes sense in the richest cities around the world, or to people that want to do big challenges on them and for some reason want to use a Brompton, like myself. And let's not forget, the sales of these must make up an absolute tiny proportion of the Brompton sales. And that wraps up the traditional Brompton lineup. And yes, each bike has other subtle differences like tyres, tubes and chains, but I've highlighted what I consider to be the most important changes between the lines. I also have to mention that you can also purchase electric Bromptons. These are C and P Line models, both offering the 4 and 12 speeds. We'll also run over quickly the costs in case you folk are interested in the cost of the electric. The 4-speed C Line costs £2,900. The 12-speed C Line costs £3,150, while the P Line electric 4-speed starts at £3,695, and the most expensive electric Brompton being the 12-speed P Line, which prices in at a staggering £3,895. So if you want electric, there you go. So with that, that concludes this video. I hope you've managed to take something away from this video and maybe navigate the Brompton lineup a little easier, especially if you're new to the Brompton game. I have to conclude though, the C Line would still take the best overall value and performance trophy, but with the new 12-speed variation released this year, you know it's the end of the line for the humble 6 speeds. The A Line is honestly good value, but I just don't ever see myself getting one, and if I was put in a position, I would rather get the 2-speed variation C Line over it. And personally, best bang for buck might be the Brompton P Line. It's seen good upgrades this year, and it's still a lot of money, but they are making it more worth it if you are a cyclist. And with that, we can wrap up this video. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Brompton Guy here. I really hope that's helped you get an understanding of what Brompton are offering you, the consumer, in 2024. If you have enjoyed this content or you've taken something from it, it would really help me if you give the video a like, as it helps me get to a wider audience and share this information with them. If you do enjoy my Brompton content, it's always appreciated if you can subscribe to the channel, and if there's anything else we can have, leave it in the comments and I'll get back to you in there. But as always, thank you for your time and enjoy your night.
He's the Brompton Guy.